All right, everyone, watch this video for Tuesday, June 18th, showing you the SPY here. Believe it or not, this little thing right here is the daily candle today. It looks pretty similar to the last 3 days. This is what you call summer volume. Very little volume and very narrow range, closing about where it's opened about 4 days in a row, right? They don't even look like candles. They look like paint splatter. Only had one call today that I felt like, was a very clean call and very, I don't want to say easy, but a pretty clean trade, right? And a pretty clean setup. And it was RVLV, which has been pretty strong lately. And you'll notice this is the opening 5-minute candle. And so it kind of puts in this cup and handle. And my thinking was, if we get through the high of day, we're probably going to break through that whole number 43. And it has a recent high of about 45. I'll show you the daily chart in just a second. But kind of a narrow range to just take the high of day break, and you can see that. I took a screenshot of my call in chat, RVLV, high of day break idea, stop below this flag, which equated to an entry idea of 42.96 right here. I actually got filled. I saw volume coming in and sent my order then, and I got filled at 43 even. And it went pretty quickly to 43.90, so that's a nice little trade. Worst case stop was probably about 20 cents below. Here's your trigger candle, probably slightly below this trigger candle here. So, I mean, on 20 cents risk, not bad when you get a 90-cent move. That's really the only thing. That, and I walked 6 miles, a little over 6 miles on my treadmill today while watching the screens. But slow day, at least I got some exercise out of it. What are we watching for tomorrow? Let's start, let me try that again. Let's start right here. PHAS is kind of an interesting chart, but not really. But in after hours, it's trading at 14 bucks. Gapping up on news, and actually went as high as almost 16. So we're going to keep our eyes on that one. See if it gives any kind of like gap and go setup. MGI, kind of the same thing. Nothing really stellar here on the daily, but as I'm talking, it's 6:35 p.m. Eastern time. It's trading at 372 in after hours. It's trading right up in here, up right around these recent highs. Certainly worth watching tomorrow. That had news in after hours. CTRV. Had a huge move in pre-market, but then pretty much sold off after the open. I was watching it as a morning gap play, but it gave absolutely no kind of setup whatsoever, and so we never got any kind of call on it. I think it's worth watching tomorrow. It's one of those that if it trades in a narrow range and then breaks out to the upside, like kind of in the afternoon, I think it could get some upside momentum because it's had a lot of extra volume lately. I hate the fact that it sold off all day though, but we'll see. We're going to keep our eyes on it tomorrow. Probably my least favorite setup though, because everyone who bought it today is underwater. Think about it that way, right? Type that wrong. SYBX is what I meant to type. This thing's had trouble with the 200-day, like here, 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 and then today for a while it paused right in that area, but it ended up closing really strong. It's very extended, because it's had a huge day, but sometimes you can get a nice follow-through day on something like that. So I am going to watch it. EIGI, big day closing near its highs on big volume. Another one I want to watch. Sometimes it's as simple as a red to green the next day. VISL, really big volume in this one. Almost hit the highs from about, 3 weeks ago, but gave back a lot of it. So that makes this one much less interesting, but still closing nicely above its open. I do want to keep an eye on. It's one of those that we've seen a lot of this recently where a low price stock gets some volume and then halts like 6 times. And so that makes them untradeable. And remember, that is the U.S. government looking out for you because they think you're too stupid to handle any kind of big move in a short period of time. It's one of my big bugaboos that I cannot stand about trading is that goofy halt rule. I always say if I ever meet the man or woman who invented that rule, I'm going to kick him or her in the nuts because it is the dumbest rule ever. FVRR. Okay, so we had this huge move on opening day, then a huge reversal the next day. So today was literally the 3rd day this thing's traded ever, and even what looks like a narrow candle was still 31.54 low, 34.88 high. So I mean, still over $3 in range. I definitely want to watch this for a potential long tomorrow. I was watching this today. I actually called this in chat over this cup and handle, right? It topped out here at 34.88, puts in this cup and handle. I loved it over 34.50, over the half, thinking it would rip through the highs and probably go to 36. and it went the other way instead. Never triggered, right? But closed strong, so I said to myself, I'm going to put that on watch for tomorrow, right? I'll only trade it with a proper low-risk intraday setup, but I think it's worth watching. ENT I've watched for like 4 days in a row, and it does nothing, and today all the way down to 196,000 shares. So I almost feel stupid having it on the list, but at the same time, it's kind of coiling up higher, and it may just rip through this recent high from about, 6-7 sessions ago one of these days. So I'm kind of stuck now. I have to keep having it on watch because I don't want to take it off the list and then have it rip. RUHN had a big volume day. Let's see, this would have been Thursday. That topped out at 455. On Friday, topped out at 405. And today at basically 399. I like this through 4 with volume if that happens tomorrow. If it doesn't, won't trade it, right? AMRN, this is a little bit obscure. I like to trade the recent high flyers, but look at this volume spike. I don't know, 3 weeks ago? Topped out at 1966 and kind of cup and handle since then. So I'm going to keep an eye on it. It's a little obscure, but I'm going to watch it. KPTI, you got to picture a trend line here. If you follow my mouse cursor, I could have drawn it, but I'm too lazy. I kind of like it over this trend line. And the reason it even caught my attention is because today got this big volume spike right here from, 585 to almost 620 in about a half hour. And closed kind of strong. And if we pan out on 60-minute charts, you can kind of get a better picture of that trend line. Kind of interesting over today's high over 620. We'll see. Don't love it. SOLY, a little bit of extra volume. Bigger volume than the last, 6-7 sessions. It was a huge mover back here about 3 weeks ago. And bounced off the 20-day today and closed pretty strong. Let's see if that's going to get some momentum on the like a follow-through day tomorrow. And then lastly, I've got Chewy, which doesn't have much to go on. It's only been trading for 2 days, but they're both red days. We'll see if it gives us some kind of low-risk setup. What I'd like to see, is like I alluded to earlier, kind of a narrow range all day and then an upside breakout in the afternoon. That's the ideal setup for me for something that's only been trading for 2 days that I'm looking for a play in. So I'm going to leave it at that. That's everything I got. Hopefully we'll find a couple gappers in addition to the PHAS and MGI and catch a nice trade in the morning. And there's plenty else to watch as well. So I'm going to leave it at that. Enjoy your evening. We'll see everybody tomorrow.